Hello, all. I am back. Yes, I did my test show early, going to dawn a little later tonight. But I wanted to check in quickly. I'm going to try to keep this short because I wanted to up to Portland and finding myself stuck. Um, Portland, Oregon used to be one of the most beautiful, cleanest, greenest cities you have ever with State Farm partner mechanics because I had the option of actually having them come pick up the car, but I didn't know that. So I drove the car out there to this particular mechanic that's not qualified to work on my car. Oh boy, that's a whole nother thing. But I caught the bus back and I decided, okay, I'm going to take the bus and transfer in downtown Portland and then head back home. Well, I get to downtown Portland and I walk up to the bus stop. Like when I was in college, I used to catch this bus every day, every day in front of the Standard. Used to, or Standard Insurance, okay? It goes by the Standard now. Oh my goodness. And then across the street from the University Club. And anyway, the city downtown Portland looks like the apocalypse. Like the apocalypse, the literal end of the world. Caddy corner from this particular bus stop was McDonald's. It was like a modern McDonald's. I think it was built in like I think it came in like 85 or something like that. Well, anyway, it's closed and gone. And it's all boarded up with with wooden boards, and instead of graffiti it's just sprayed black. They take the boards and it's all sprayed black. It just looks terrible. And then everywhere else is graffiti. There's no one in sight anywhere, anywhere. And um, the movie theater, that's gone where it used to be the Broadway a long time ago. When we were in high school, it was this old Broadway theater, and they were closing. They were kind of going bankrupt, and but on Monday it was, what is that they call it? Oh gosh. Well, on Mondays it was the matinee. Yeah, matinee all day Monday, and all the kids from all the high schools used to go there, and there was no heat, so you had to like put on all your clothes, your socks, your coats, your dust, your gloves, and na na na. But like all the kids from like all the different high schools were there. That was back in the '80s, early '80s, and that was a lot of fun because they would have horror films like My Bloody Valentine and the first couple Friday the 13th and oh man, just oh wow. But anyway, I'm reminiscing, right? Anyway, it used to be kind of bustling down there. We had a department store called Myron Frank, and everybody would be in front of Myron Frank waiting for the bus. And there would be these guys, these black guys, they would be down there all day long. And when we girls would walk by, they'd be like, hey, girl, hey, 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 can I get your number, girl? Hey, hey. And they were there day in and day out, all day, every day. But it's now down there, it's dead. It's a ghost town. Half of the shops, boutiques are all closed. Um, Macy's took the place of Meyer and Frank, and that closed about 5 years ago. I don't know if the whole hotel is still open, but that Japanese or Korean store that moved, really expensive store that moved in there that they had in London. Because I remember when I went to London in the 90s, I'm pretty sure it was that same store that sells like like novelty items, journals, pens, paper. They sell clothing, da, 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 but very expensive. That place is gone. Okay. I don't know. I guess Nordstrom's is still open. But there's just like nobody down there. It's all graffitied. All half of the stores are closed down there. And then the other half are all boarded up. Rite Aid is a mess. It doesn't even look like a place where people can shop. But I guess it's open. It's all boarded up. It's all graffitied over. All the buildings are graffitied over. People don't care who owns these places. They're just all graffitied, windows broken. Um, it doesn't even look like a place where, and I said this before, where human beings would go. And I tell you, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't even take my dog down there. I wouldn't even take my dog down there. It might catch something. You know what I'm saying? It is the most horrific thing. I mean, if someone from that was living in Portland in the 90s or even the early 2000s came and went downtown, they might get PTSD. They might get PTSD. That's how bad Portland, Oregon. It is horrible. And then all over town, I saw this group of little kids when I uptown, okay, before we went into downtown. These people had these kids, and you know how you chain the kids together and everybody's, crossing the street and stuff. There was a group of kids, and about maybe 20 to 30 feet away was one of these homeless camps. It was, I couldn't even believe it. I could not believe my eyes. And these homeless camps are the most disgusting, unhygienic, unsanitary, dirty, filthy things you have ever seen. This is like worse than cavemen. Cavemen didn't even live like this. I know. And these people, you know how they ended up here? Because when they legalized marijuana, all the drug addicts from all over the United States came to Portland. Of course, every state wants to get rid of their riffraff. They want them out. They're criminals, half of them. You know, if you get on drugs, you're going to be a criminal. That's the only way you can afford to buy these drugs. And so they come here where the drugs are legal because, okay, I'm going to say this. I don't care that there are hotels, luxury hotels downtown that will host homeless people, clean and sober, but they don't want to go there. They want to stay out where they can do all their drugs and do all their crimes. I left some bottles out thinking that I was going to help out somebody get some extra spare change. They took the bottles, then they helped themselves to robbing my car. Okay? $450 worth of damage. Yes. And these officials, they're like, bring them in, bring them in, bring them in. I don't know if they're looking for these people as potential voters. I do not know. But see, back in the 90s, I was one of the first volunteers with this uh, project called Potluck in the Park. And so every Sunday we would feed the homeless. And I would get like Popeyes and stuff like that to donate chicken and stuff like that. Oh, are you one of the homeless? I got that so much. Oh my God. Portland, Oregon, there you go. But anyway, I was one of the first volunteers. And so we pretty much knew all of the homeless by sight, at least. We knew a lot of them by name. And the homeless people, they took pride in the city. Some of them did not want to live in homes. Some had mental health concerns. Some of these homeless people were from such of the richest families in the state. Even my own uh, one of my own family members was homeless for years. You see him pushing the shopping cart around. We're middle class people. My parents put all four of us kids through college, you know. And he had like an accident and these things happened and da 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 da. But what I'm saying is we knew the homeless people in Portland. We pretty much knew most to all of them because they would come down every Sunday to potluck in the park and eat. And everybody was talking and chatting, having a good time, and all the volunteers and the homeless people would come and chat and tell you about their experiences and da 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 and stuff like that. And you see them around all different parts of town. Now, these people here now, they're not from Oregon. They're from all over the United States and outside of the country. Because one guy who came around when I was getting ready to go someplace and I saw that he was collecting bottles, and I said, "Oh, wait, hold on. I've got a bunch of bottles in my basement. Let me run and get them for you." And so I went and got him, and I was talking to the guy, and he had an accent. It was like from Germany or the Netherlands or maybe something even Scandinavia or something like that. And I was thinking to myself, where did this guy come from? How is he all the way over here and he has this accent? It wasn't an accent from like one of the third world countries. And I don't mean that offensively, but this guy was from someplace in Europe, all the way over here, you know? And so our officials here, they are allowing Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, Los Angeles. I don't know what kind of racket is going on, if any. Of course, don't quote me, but there's something wrong. I mean, do they get kickbacks or something? This is costing the state millions, if not billions of dollars because they are not making any um, attempt to resolve the issue. It's just getting worse and worse and messier and more disgusting and more unsanitary and, more poisonous. These people are going to, could bring like the plague. They could bring the plague. And it is unbelievable. Of course, sadly, I don't use um, graphics. I'm not really conversant with them. I see that I could share a screen and I could take pictures and show, but you could look it up too. Just look it up. Use your imagination, make an effort. But really, I would say come here and see for yourself over there by the bus station and the train station. Oh man, oh man. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. And so what I was explaining to people is if this had happened in Italy, and I was living in Sardinia, which is the island. That's where all my stuff is. And if this had happened there, because it's one of the most beautiful places you could ever imagine in ever. Um, if this had happened over there, the officials responsible for letting it occur would be in prison. You know why I know this? Because they are. Something like this did happen, where they took. It's an Sardinia is an island in the middle of the Mediterranean, and it's like right next to Corsica. And Corsica, oh man, that's really beautiful because the French, they take care of their stuff. They take care of their stuff. So Corsica is just way off the chain. But Sardinia or Sardinia is it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. And anyway, so what these government officials had done is they wanted to create a beautiful beach because when the tourists come, when you're not from somewhere or when people aren't from somewhere, I don't do this. People who are not from a particular place, they don't care sometimes. So they're throwing cigarette butts and, all their garbage and trash, leaving it on the beach. And so instead of cleaning up the beach, painstakingly cleaning up the beach every year, they said, okay, well, we're just going to go dig sand up from the sea bottom of the Mediterranean Sea, and we're just going to put it on top, and everything's going to be like looking all new and everything. They did that, and they dug this sand that was under water and put it on the beach. Well, within I don't know if it was 6 months or a year or something like that, this sand turned either black or red. Really, but it was gross. It looked like mud. It was horrible. And what happened was they tracked down the people who were responsible for this, and I think it's either one or two couple of people at least serving 40-year sentences. And, you know, you have people who are government officials, they are not from the state, obviously. If they are, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. But people who are not from your state, not from your city, Because if they were, they would have some pride, okay? And the people who are running our city have zero pride in it. That's just a fact, okay? And someone actually asked me to get involved with the situation and um, run um, representing the Republican Party and to try to get in there and, you know, apply for some kind of representative positions and stuff. But I'm from Portland, Oregon. I know how Portland, Oregon works. And I am not going to get involved. I'm not going to do it. Portland, Oregon is supposedly this liberal something. I don't know what you want to call it. But I do not want to get involved. I don't want to get involved in politics. Politics, nothing goes anywhere. It's just a meeting to plan for the next meeting, the plan for the next meeting, the plan for the next vote, the plan for the next vote after that, and argue with the people who didn't vote and are trying to keep the vote from going through, and this, da 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 da, and it goes on forever. Forever. No. I said, I'll do a podcast with you and I'll talk and, you know, advocate. And with me, I say what I think. And I think the best thing would be Republicans running this stuff. But that's not going to happen. And I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I don't think that it's necessary to be part of a political party anymore. I think you should vote for who you think is best. But I tell you one thing, all you have to do is look and see who's how things go under these people and how things go under those people. You know, it's really something. And it's kind of weird, too, that we're sitting here complacent in Portland, Oregon. No one's saying anything. No one. And I even was talking about it to my friends. I said, do you know how much it's going to cost to clean up all this stuff? All this is hazmat stuff. Man, and the longer it goes on without any resolution, the more expensive it's going to get. And who's going to pay for it? The people. You know what I'm saying? The taxpayers are going to pay for all of this. That's counting, it's adding into the billions. It's adding every day, adding into the billions. And none of us are saying anything. None of us want to go forward. You know, in politics, nothing goes anywhere. But by the time, and more people are probably coming here, states want to get rid of their riffraff. They don't want drug addicts, criminals, gang members. They want them out. The same thing with like Mexico and the Central American countries. They want them out. And who is like coming, you know? So, whatever the case may be. Anyway, I just beef. I beef, 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 beef. But that's what I think. And I'm just not sure. Maybe people need to get involved. We let our representatives, because we're not a democracy, we are a republic. A republic means that you elect representatives to work for you. A democracy would be one man, one vote. And I don't know. It doesn't look like we can handle that. But, all I'm saying is this is going to end up costing a fortune. And we taxpayers are going to pay for it. So I guess that's that. That's about it. Anyway, thanks for letting me beef. I see I have 0 viewers. I had 1, and I could see on the insights that I now have none. But I am posting to Facebook because that saves me from actually um, shooting my video on YouTube and then posting it to Facebook, because Facebook doesn't like you to post to another site, because sites don't like you to leave their sites. They want you to stay on their sites. So if I start from Facebook and then download it later to YouTube, I've hit 2 birds with 1 stone. You see? So anyway, thanks a lot and for listening, and looking forward to checking in again, and later on, all right, we will chat again. Bye bye.